Good morning. Welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at the pitching for today, the 7th of May. It is Tuesday. We have an 8-game main slate this evening. It appears we don't really have much weather to worry about. It's windy in a lot of places. In Wrigley is the main one. Across the field in Colorado is the other one that we want to pay attention to. It is blowing out in Atlanta. Maybe the Braves offense can finally wake up as well, but we are here to talk about pitching and not necessarily offenses. So we're going to start right at the top here. We have Shoto Imanaga. As I mentioned, wind blowing in at Wrigley. I'm trying to locate a K prop, but it looks like there isn't anything listed at the moment for this game. I would guess we're still kind of looking for some weather. Game total's at 8.5, so that tells me that maybe the wind will not be blowing in. Something to definitely pay attention to. But Imanaga is minus 148 favorite. He's been phenomenal. I'm certainly going to play him unless we start getting word that there's going to be a ton of wind blowing out. Yamamoto taking on the Marlins. Yes, please. I mean, he hasn't been the greatest at home, but such an elite matchup. A minus 325 favorite. Game total of just 8, which would mean that the Marlins team total has to be extremely low. K prop 6.5. Juice on the under. I think that 6.5 number looks pretty inviting for some upside. Reynaldo Lopez against Boston. He has thrown the ball really well as a starter for the Braves. Not really sure if I want to go there. K prop of 5.5 though, which is pretty solid. He is a minus 180 favorite, so strong home favorite, but like I did mention, the wind's potentially blowing out in Atlanta. It's starting to warm up. Maybe we see some offense in that matchup. Plus, he's so close to these two at the top that I'd much rather play Yamamoto and maybe Imanaga, depending on the weather. Verlander taking on the Yankees. I don't think I'm going to go to Verlander at 9K against this Yankees offense. Ks aren't really there, so I think that's one guy that I'm going to put on the fade list for this evening. Edward Cabrera, super high upside, but not really going to do it against the Dodgers. One of my favorite young pitchers in baseball, but I'm not sure that tonight will be a good night for him. Like I mentioned, he is a pretty large favorite or underdog. K prop of 5.5. Juice is pretty much on a pick 'em at that point. So 5.5, not a bad K prop, but again, taking on the Dodgers, not really intriguing. Cutter Crawford against an Atlanta offense has been struggling. I think people are going to talk about using him, and I can agree they have been struggling. They have been striking out. His K prop is just 4.5. Like I mentioned, Atlanta's pretty strong favorite. Game total is 9. I don't think I'm going to go to Cutter Crawford, to be honest. Luis Hill against Houston. I will be looking to use a little Luis Hill. He's a minus 118 favorite. Game total 102. K prop of 5.5. Juice on the over. His walks have come down over his last few starts. I think he's an interesting play. I will obviously want to be stacking some Houston, but I think Luis Hill is somebody that needs to be in play for us. Jose Butto, coming off of a really strong start, did struggle against the St. Louis squad the last time he faced them. I like to think he's going to fare a little better. K prop of 4.5. It's a slight underdog. Game total is 8.5, but I think Buto might be a guy that we can add to our pool. His matchup for us obviously better than Crawford, Cabrera, and Reynaldo Lopez even, uh, and Verlander. So I think he kind of makes sense to fill this void in here um, in our player pool. Bailey Ober taking on a Seattle squad that strikes out plenty, coming off of a rough start against a team that we expected him to dominate. He's kind of been all over the board, but a minus 148 home favorite. A K prop of 6.5. Juice is on the under, but still a K prop of 6.5 in this one. Um, we know that Seattle can strike out quite a bit, so I'm definitely interested in Ober at 7,600. Seth Lugo just keeps, being solid. He's had two great starts in a row. Um, I'm not really sure that we can expect these K numbers to stay up like that. Um, I kind of expect them to fall back down to this range here soon. But, I've been on record saying that I'm not a huge Milwaukee offense fan. So why not keep picking on them? K prop of 5.5, but Juice is on the under in that one. He is a minus 125 favorite. Game total is 8.5 though. But uh, I'm not playing him based off of just these last two starts. Kind of playing him because of what he's capable of doing, and then the fact that this Milwaukee offense has sputtered a little bit. But uh, he's not somebody I'm going to lock in. Like last night, Cole Reagans ended up being a core play for me on the site. Um, I just don't think Lugo has what it takes to become the core play tonight. Colin Ray's not really going to take the other side of that matchup. Kyle Harrison, I'm intrigued against Colorado, um, but I need to see some more about that weather. He's a minus 155 favorite. Game total is just 10.5 with juice on the under. That tells me that the weather might be in a better spot for pitchers. So that K prop of 5.5, intriguing. I might be sprinkling in some Kyle Harrison tonight, and I think you guys probably should. Emerson Hancock has really had an up and down season, couple strong starts in a row, and struggled, but to be expected against Atlanta. At 6,200, really intriguing because the talent's there. K prop of just 4.5 with juice on the under. Not much of a K guy. Just one start over that K prop. But Minnesota can strike out. But they have won 13 out of the last 14 games. So, like I mentioned, he is an underdog against Bailey Ober. I'm going to have to kind of dig into this one a little bit more. I think Hancock might have some reverse splits. And if that's the case, I think he might have success against this Minnesota lineup. But I have to look into it. I might be misremembering, one of their other pitchers for Seattle. But Miles Mikolas, don't think I'm going to go there against the Mets. Just somebody that does not excite me to use. Not that I think the Mets offense is all that spectacular. Mikolas is a minus 120 favorite. K prop of 4.5, but choose on the under. Down here, I definitely would rather take a chance on Hancock upside or Harrison. Maybe a little Randy Vasquez, probably not. I thought Vasquez was going to be a really strong pitcher for the Yankees, and then they obviously traded him. K's haven't been there, just getting called back up. So unless the win comes in at Wrigley, we get an update. Most likely, Vasquez isn't somebody that's going to make my pool. So, but there we have it. There's my first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button. Excuse me, hit the subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on to get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.